Welcome to Shojin Property Partners with myself, Gareth Bain, and CEO Jatin Ondia. Today we're shooting a video series of questions from investors. All these crowdfunding companies are offering these attractive returns to investors, but how is that even possible with the banks that are offering such low interest rates?
So if you look at what's happening when you're investing your money with the bank, so first of all, your bank is taking that money and then they're making onward investments. They're making loans to companies, they're giving out mortgages. And in that process, the bank is acting as the middleman, if you like, and they're giving you a guaranteed fixed rate of return. When you're investing through a crowdfunding platform, however, you're bypassing that whole middle section. So you as an individual are directly investing into projects, which means that you can generate much higher return. But that also means that the risk is higher because your risk is not diversified into multiple products, and you're taking on the full risk of an individual project.
So you talk about risk there. How is your money guaranteed?
No, so that's a really good question, because when you put your money into the bank, you've got FSCS protection up to £85,000. And that's another reason why the return from a bank can be very, very low. Whereas when you're investing through crowdfunding, you do not get the benefit of FSCS protection. So your money is completely at risk. So the return you're actually generating in a crowdfunding investment is high because the risk is higher as well. So there are two things going on there. You are being compensated for the risk that you're taking, but also you're cutting out this whole middleman and the middle section and going directly to the borrower, and thereby generating a much higher return.
So with the banks offering such a low return, obviously there's inflation. How does that affect investing with crowdfunding versus the bank?
Yeah, good point. Inflation, you're looking at around 2.5%, 3% sometimes. The fact is your money loses value in the bank. So you work really hard all year to generate your income, you put it in the bank, and year on year it's losing value. At the end of the year, you can buy less with that money than you could at the beginning of the year. Which is why it's really important to make sure your money's working hard. And with the growth in the crowdfunding market and the peer-to-peer lending market, you now have access to all these different opportunities to make your money work harder and generate a higher return to make sure that your money is at least keeping up with inflation, if not generating a much, much higher return than inflation.
I think we've all had this beaten into us from our parents that we have to save. So we're saying now that putting your money into a bank's not the best way. How can people go about saving more effectively?
So first of all, you shouldn't not have any money in the bank. It's always important to have some money in the bank at all times because you might need immediate access to it. And that's why it's very important. Crowdfunding investments tend to be illiquid, and that means that you cannot sell the investments necessarily whenever you want to. Now, some platforms have created a secondary marketplace where you can go and sell your investments, but you may not get the price you want. There may not be somebody there to buy the investment when you need your money. So it's important to have some money in the bank. But as with all investments, it's important to also have diversification and to create a portfolio. So you should spread your money into different investments, some with low risk, some with middle risk, some with high risk, and then some in the bank for immediate access. And then as you get older, the idea is, when you're younger, you can afford to take a little bit more risk, so you can put a bit more money into the high risk and less into the low risk. But as you get older, the idea is that you should always shift your money into the lower risk category because you haven't got enough time to make up for any losses that may happen. So always have a portfolio mindset and diversify your investments.
Thanks, Jatin. That was very interesting. So those were a few questions from some of our previous investors. If you've got any questions, please feel free to let us know, drop them in the comment box below, or feel free to email us.